Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ndeipi MuDiaspora. I'm Spiwe.
I'm Mutsa. I'm Sneakiwe.
And today we're going to be talking about relationships, the trials, the tribulations that we've gone through, the things we've learned, the things that have happened to us, and yes, how we got dumped. Yes, I said dumped. It's not fun, but yeah, it's happened to all of us. But after this show, you're going to learn that we did learn from all our past relationships. It helped us become better people, help our confidence grow. But right now, I have my inner Oprah. So after the show, you're going to get a relationship, you're going to get a relationship, you're going to get a relationship, and you're going to get a relationship. But let me go back to the dumping part. So, who got dumped first?
Obviously, I did. I'm older, right?
Okay.
You call it all right. Yeah, I did get dumped first. Actually, it was actually a pretty serious boyfriend at that time, and I thought I was going to get married. And it happened 3 days after my birthday, and it happened over the phone. It wasn't in person. It was rude, but you know, it's made me a better person. You know, I think that experience just made me who I am today, because I eventually met a really great guy who's my husband now, and and that other guy doesn't matter anymore. So it's okay to be dumped. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've been dumped too. No, but seriously, I've definitely been through it too. And same as you, mine was a really serious relationship, one where I thought like this is it. So it's like, when it happens, you guys, when people talk about heartbreak or heartache, I have experienced a heartache where your heart is literally aching. And it's real. So there were moments where it was like really, really bad, you guys. I was like really devastated. I mean, I gained weight. I went through all of these like situations. But the thing is, like you said, people don't talk about those deep parts of like after you've been dumped or whatever. But it happens to everybody. I mean, all three of us are sitting here talking about it. So, I mean, it happens, right?
Right. And like when it happened to me, like, you know, I was here in the US, and you know, I didn't have a tete, which is like an aunt, you know, in our Zimbabwean culture, who I could go to and say, okay, this is what happened, you know, my boyfriend, you know, broke up with me. I just had to call my mom. That's the only lifeline I had, and my best friend in Canada. And I remember my mom saying something, and I was like, why is she saying this? I mean, she was like, oh, that's a blessing. How is it a blessing when somebody
You don't want to hear that.
I was like, how is that a blessing when somebody dumps you, you know? But she told me, no, that's a blessing. You know, when somebody dumps you, that's their loss. I'm like, oh, okay. But she told me one thing: cry, because you have to cry. You have to let it out, because you don't want to let it out in a different way. So I did cry. It hurt very much, but I'm good now.
Okay, girl. Yes.
I guess it's my turn.
It's okay. It's a safe space.
Okay. I just needed the reassurance. So yeah, I was dumped too, and it was pretty devastating because, like Musa said, you think when you meet that person, I was like, oh, I'm never gonna have to date again, and this is the end, and oh my God, I might even marry this person. No, it was opposite. I ended up losing 15 pounds.
Excuse me, 20 pounds for the record, because I had to feed her. Go on.
Whatever. Anyways, I lost the weight, and I was just so depressed because it's like this person that you talk to 24 hours of the day is just not there anymore. And yeah, 24 hours talking to someone is not really healthy, but I did it. And then so like I would wake up, go to work, no more calls, no more good morning texts, and I'm just like, how am I going to function without this person? I had family and I had friends to talk to, but I did not care what they had to say, because it's like, you don't know what I'm going through. I'm sitting here suffering and heartache. And like Musa said, it's like, it hurts.
Yeah.
And like, it hurts deep, and it's like, no one knows how you feel. All they can do is comfort you, but you don't want to hear the words of other people.
Right.
You just want to hear those words of that person that did leave me in that situation. But one day I just sat and talked to myself like, Sio, you have to get over the situation. So I gave myself the confidence, and after a while I did get over the situation. It took me a while, but I got over it. And what I learned from that is, as a person, you got to learn how to build yourself up and bring back your own confidence, because no one else will, and no matter what anybody tells you, they can't be you, and you have to build yourself up.
That's very true. I think the lesson that I learned after my devastation was the importance of coming into a relationship 100%. You know, a lot of times people say, I'll come in 50%, the other person will come in 50%, we'll be complete together. No, I think it's important to go into a relationship really knowing who you are. Because when you do that, you know the kind of things that you're going to tolerate and not going to tolerate. So the notion that come in at 50-50, I'm not really for it. I think be strong. Nobody's perfect, of course, but be strong in knowing who you are. I think that will help save you with a lot of heartache. You know, those moments where you see the person hasn't called you in like a week or two. I mean, like, you know you're not going to accept that. So that's an important thing. So I think when we talk about dating in diaspora or being in relationships here in the diaspora, I think sometimes we're at a bit of a disadvantage, or we at least face certain challenges. Because if I was dating at home in Zimbabwe, you know, it's like everybody knows everybody. Right. Mm-hmm. People know the person's family, so you kind of have a bit of a history of the person. Maybe, I mean, you don't know all their details, but you know them, and your family knows them, friends know them. So there's a bit of like, I feel like, accountability. But here, if we're dating like another Zimbabwean or whatever, we don't know. Yeah. We don't know their family, their history, their whatever. You're just meeting this whole other person, and who knows? But I mean, not to say that things aren't going to work out, because obviously here we are with some successful, you know, relationships. But I do think we have some of those challenges sometimes, at least, you know, dating in diaspora versus home, maybe.
Yeah. And that is true. When you do try to find your significant other, always be cautious and remember your morals and how you were raised, because that's really important. Yeah. Because you're going to bring that person around your family or around your friends, and when they see that person's going to be a reflection of you and who you are and what you accept and who you actually want to be in life, because that person's supposed to be there to uplift you and help you.
Right. And there's also a healthy, 100%. Because some women, you find they give their social security numbers, their retirement funds. I mean, it's just crazy sometimes. So there's a healthy way to date and to keep things consistent. You can give yourself, yes, but you always need to be cautious. Like Spiro said, you always need to be cautious. It's got to be just a little bit that you have to hold back a little bit and just say, you know what, let's keep this in reserve for whatever comes, like whatever unexpected event that happens.
Right. Yeah. Keep a little bit to yourself. Right. Yeah. Don't necessarily give 100%.
Right.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't give your all.
Yeah. Well, when we talk about, challenges of dating in diaspora, we've got a few things to show you guys, right?
Yes. Our first girl is Priscilla. She's from Australia. She's Zimbabwean, but she lives in Australia. She's a single mom. She's been married. Now she's divorced. She's a nurse. I think she's doing a master's degree, if I'm not mistaken. MBA. And she's doing really great. So watch this clip and hear what she says.
Yes.
Hey guys, my name is Priscilla Gwanzura, but my friends know me as PJ. I am in Sydney, Australia, and I've been here for the last 12 years. I was previously married, and unfortunately it didn't work out. So ideally my parents would want me to be with somebody that makes me happy, somebody that brings out the best out of me. And I guess somebody that's different to the person that I got married to before. No shade, but obviously if you got married to the same person you're married to before, they're gonna be like, what's up with that? I think that the challenges are that the difference with dating here in Australia and being back at home is that when you're back at home, you had your friends, your clique, and used to hang out in the same places. So there were certain places that you would not necessarily be seen, whereas when you're in Australia, you mingle with every other Zimbabwean, so sometimes you end up dating people that you would not normally have associated with. I look for guys that are serious with their lives, guys that are motivated, guys that are hardworking, guys that that are loving, and most importantly, guys that love God. It can be challenging dating as a single mom, because sometimes any Tom, Dick and Harry think they can come and step up to you because you've got a kid, and maybe because you've got a kid you're not as worthy as someone who doesn't have a kid, so they want to waste your time or take you on a joyride. So yeah, those are the bad guys, but there are also some good guys that really want to get to know you even though you are a mom. And some guys were like, I guess if they love you, they'll be like, you know what, it doesn't matter, your kid, my kid, it doesn't matter. I think I would only introduce my daughter to my boo if I knew that he was going to be there forever and ever in the long run. So to sum it up, is there any guy that I've ever dated and told my child that this is my boo? No, nobody has met that standard yet. So yeah.
So what did you guys think about PJ's video?
Wow, she's near and dear to my heart, so go ahead, PJ.
Okay, and our next video is from Rosemary. She lives in Johannesburg. She's a single lady. She's dating. She's a fashionista, but she's having challenges, of course, dating in diaspora. In South Africa, as close as it is to home, it's still diaspora.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rosemary Doma. I'm Zimbabwean, but currently residing in South Africa. Well, personally, I look for someone who is focused, ambitious, financially stable, God-fearing, loving, and romantic, of course. In diaspora, some men lie about their marital status to the extent that you can only get to find out later, like on the later stages of the relationship, that there are families back home. My family would always advise me to always be careful and always know if this guy is married, if he's single, if he's divorced, because sometimes if you don't know about all these things, it can give you problems later on. Also, they would also want to meet the guy that I'm seeing, just because if a guy is serious about you, or if he wants marriage with you, obviously you would want to come and meet up with the family. But if he's being hesitant, well, he's not serious. I actually prefer dating someone from back home because we have this understanding, especially from our background, values and morals. The benefits or the positive advantage of dating in the diaspora is that it's the world of just the two of us without any close relations interfering. I think that's all that I have to answer for today.
Okay, you guys just watched Rosemary's video. She's in the Berg, or Joburg. Okay, so other people know what I'm talking about. She's in Johannesburg, but she's out there doing her thing. Like Sneaky said, she is close to home, but she's still keeping her standards high, and she knows what she wants, and she's independent in getting it out there. Go, Rosemary.
Doing it
Good
so
job,
beautifully,
Rosie.
too.
You're doing well. Okay, so our next guest is here in the studio with us today. Her name is Far Rose. That is her stage name. She's a gospel singer here in Dallas, Texas. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love everything about her. I have listened to some of her music, and help me welcome Far Rose to the stage.
Hi, welcome, Far.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you here. So can you tell us just a little bit about yourself so our viewers know more about you?
Sure. Well, I was born and raised in Zimbabwe, and my first name is Rosalind, and I was raised in a Christian family. And growing up, I used to listen to a lot of Christian music, especially South African music, and I grew to love music like that. And then, of course, at 17 years old, I came here to the United States for college, and while I was in college, one of my classmates recorded an album. So I was curious, how did you do it? And tell me how much it cost. She told me it cost about $10,000. So
Oh, wow.
I was like, really? Okay. Let me defer that dream. I had to defer that really quick. And then fast forward to 2014, I met a producer based in Zimbabwe. He had come to visit here in the United States. So he was like, come over, I'm here to record you. I'm like, seriously? So I was so excited. But because I'd been disappointed so many times, I was just like, okay, let's just do it. But the first album was done. I mean, I actually cried after that because like my dream has finally come true. And then 2016, I went home. That's where he's based, as I said. I recorded my second album, and we had a release party over there. I came over here had another release party.
Wow.
So it was wonderful. So right now I'm working on my third album. I've met this amazing producer. I met him 2 years ago, and from that day he's been like showing me how much confidence he has in me, how much he knows I have so much talent, how much he wants the world to see how talented I am. And so I've given him that opportunity. He's given me that opportunity as well to, you know, showcase my talent, and I'm very grateful. The album is gonna have 10 tracks, so it's a lot of work. The past 2 albums I only had like 8 tracks, so it's gonna be a lot of work, and I'm ready to put in that work.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
So the second one, you said you worked on it when you were in Zimbabwe.
Yes, I had to go back to Zimbabwe, and we recorded it in 9 days. So
that was good.
Fast, yes.
So the person that you're working with now, can we know their name?
Of course, the talented Peter Tulani.
We like Peter Tulani. Wow. So we're gonna come to this party?
Of course.
Okay. Thank you.
Invited herself.
VIP. Okay.
Thank you so much. We like that. That's amazing.
Yes.
Okay, well, that is true. Sometimes people do see our talents before we even see them ourselves, and that is a great story, and that's good to hear.
Yeah.
But going back to relationships,
Oh boy.
just a little tiny bit. I know you heard about us talking about our challenges in dating here in the diaspora. What were some of your challenges dating here?
Oh my gosh. I
Please
think
share.
I could write a book, a movie, whatever you want to call it. I've been through it all, you know. I think one of the biggest challenges, I prefer Zimbabwean men. Not that anything is wrong with other cultures, because Zimbabwean men, you can talk to them in your language. You can say, anyway, you know. And all that. So I prefer Zimbabwean men, but what I learned is, as you were saying, when we're home, you can go to relatives, ask who is this, who is that, and get more information. But when you're over here, people come, they lie to you that they're not married. You end up dating for months, years, you end up finding out they're married. So it's a great disappointment. I think that's the biggest challenge I've faced.
Wow.
That's so difficult.
Yeah,
it really is. Because you know, sometimes you think I'm dating another Zimbabwean. You know, we understand each other, we feel each other, but sometimes, you know, I guess it depends on the person.
Yes,
Right.
it does. It does. There are good men out there.
Yeah.
So I guess you just have to be patient. Ask around. People are hooking each other up now, and you get a good relationship out of it. So
Get the Carfax.
yes, you have to.
Relationship facts before you go in. This is everything you need to know. Are you in or are you out?
Yes, exactly.
So what does Fa like to do in her spare time?
Being a single mom, I'm going to school and all that. In my spare time, I prefer to just sleep.
Okay.
You know,
I can go.
but, you know, besides that, I love to travel. I love to cook. I love to bake.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I love movies.
So you'll get along well with
Definitely.
Wow, that's awesome.
That is beautiful. Well, you know, when we talk about relationships, and we talked about the heartache and all of that, one thing that I know for sure helped me get through my breakup is music. And you sing some really beautiful music.
Thank you.
You do.
Thank you.
So I know you said you gave us a little bit about your upcoming third album. So what can we look forward to maybe on this album? Are there any, you know, surprise guests or collabs?
I cannot really give it away, but you know, of course, we'll have some collabos. And first and second album, I think I went with a slower pace, kind of worship music. Right now, we want to, I don't know whether I should say pump it up.
Okay.
Is it appropriate for Christian music?
It is.
Yeah, so we want
absolutely gospel. Yeah.
So we want people on their feet praising God and all that. We got surprises. Y'all ain't ready?
Oh, we like that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so far. So how can people get in touch with you if they wanted to?
Okay, I'm on Facebook, and on Facebook just type FA space ROSE. On Instagram it's Faros and 815, and you can also email me at farosmusic@icloud.com.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Any of my music as well. I mean, if you just Google Faros, It'll show you anywhere you can purchase: iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon, anywhere. It's all over.
Wow. I see you're holding 2 CDs.
Yes. This is my first CD.
Okay.
Titled Amazing.
Okay. Wow.
And then this is my second CD, God of Favor.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Nice.
Yes, thank you.
So the theme of our show is kind of uplifting people, helping people, letting people know that they are great and they can be great. So I wanted to know, what does empowerment mean to you?
I think empowerment basically means leaving somebody in a different situation than what you found them in. If you find somebody struggling, find out what's the problem and how you can help.
Right.
Like back home in Zimbabwe, we have a lot of orphans, and they don't have anybody to pay for their food, accommodation, even going to school. So pay for that. Take them to school. It's really reasonable paying for tuition in Zimbabwe. So you already put that child in a better position than when you found them. And also another way for me, you ladies are doing a great job with your talk show.
Thank you.
Yes, and this is my very first talk show. Yes, so I'm honored to be here.
Thank you so much.
You guys are empowering artists like me to be known by a larger audience. All of you guys, you have fans, I know. So now your fans are my fans, so that's empowerment right there.
Thank you so much, Mom.
You're welcome.
That is
so
beautiful.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Makes me want to tear.
I know. It's okay, Sweetie. It's okay, baby.
So as we close up, our relationship episode, I just wanted to say, mothers, learn to communicate with your daughters, learn to know who they're dating, learn to know what they're doing out there, open up those lines of communication, because those things are very important. You don't want your daughters to do something that you don't know what they're doing. So you really just want to be, not to be friends with them as per se, but to be a little bit more open, especially our African mothers, because when we close up like that, we close up our children even coming to us and trying to tell us stuff.
That's a good point, because we do come from, a lot of us come from cultures where we don't talk to our parents or mothers about relationships. So when you go through those bad relationships, the heartaches, all of that, you don't really have someone solid to turn to, because your mom can save you a whole lot of time and heartache by letting you know this is just not the one.
Right.
So I think it's important, especially now that we're here in diaspora, where our kids are exposed to, I ain't got no kids. Kids are exposed to so many other things that don't sometimes match with our own values for where we come from. So it's very important for moms, sisters, aunts, everybody to really take on those roles and be involved.
Because it takes a village.
It does.
To raise a child.
It does.
Yeah.
So, in the words of the great R&B singer, Cassie,
The very well kept woman.
the first lady of Bad Boy, okay? I'd rather lose a lover than to love a loser.
That's right.
And then we have the lovely Erykah Badu, who once said, well, she's from Dallas, if y'all did not know.
Right, she is from Dallas,
she's an amazing singer. Like she said, pick your friends like you pick your fruits.
Absolutely.
And that goes with relationships as well. And with that being said, the lovely Farrell is going to be singing a beautiful song for us.
Yes.
Yes.
So enjoy.
Mountains to climb, so many rivers to cross. Nobody said it would be easy. So much negative energy pulling us down like gravity. We needed more than a strong heart. In the middle of the storm, the hope was little, it was tough. Now we see there's a rainbow. Waiting at the crossroads, we found favor, and we never ever letting go. He's a God of favor. He's a God of grace. stuck in the darkness. Now we living in brighter days. You will understand my praise. Ooh, see, I know where I'm coming from, and I won't go back in the middle of the storm. Hope was little, it was tough. Now we see there's a rainbow. We found grace. Waiting at the crossroad. We found favor, and we never ever let it go. He's a God of favor. He's a God of grace and waiting at the crossroads, we found favor, and we never ever letting go. He's a God